So morning everyone. So we'll start our session. I think beginning I will revise some part of what we had done yesterday. Few typical questions based on force experienced by current carrying element. Then we'll spend some time on learning something new, which is called magnetic dipole. We just made a reference of magnetic dipole in one of the previous classes. We'll refer to that and then we'll learn more about magnetic dipole moment today. Okay. So again, starting with this, this is the question what we did yesterday, just to make sure that you people have understood. If I give a small variation of the question, you should be able to spot what is the implication of small variation. In this particular case, B field was vertically upward. Hence, since the B was vertical, force was horizontal. If I give a small variation, let's say what is a small variation, we change the direction of B. B is perpendicular to inclined plane. What would be the change in my answer if B is made perpendicular to inclined plane? Rest all remaining same. So in what manner will the answer will change? So can you all think of what would happen if I make the plane that be inclined to the particular plane?
Force will act upward the incline.
No, so basically what happens, since it is perpendicular, force will lie in the plane of inclined plane, and if the current direction is this, force also will act up the inclined plane. So if I draw the free body diagram may look something like this. So if this is the surface here, so the magnetic force will start acting like this, up the inclined plane, and this force will be equal to ILB. And for its equilibrium, ILB has to be, we equate the force along the slope, it has to be equal to mg sine theta. So in this case, the equation becomes equal to ILB is equal to mg sine theta. That's a condition for zero acceleration. So effect of change of direction of B will affect the direction in which the force will act. But even when B is perpendicular to inclined plane, just notice B is still, the now direction of B has changed, but it has still remained perpendicular to L vector. It has still remained perpendicular to L vector. This is something all of you should note, make a note of. Okay. So that's the implication. So whenever you have this question, you should understand how does it change. Okay, let's move on to something else. Next question. Read that question, try and understand how do you solve it. So if information given in the question can be converted in form of a simple figure, 3 long straight thin wires. So I draw three wires. First wire, second wire, and third wire. What is given and kind of parallel to each other, and resistance of each wire. This is first wire is 2 ohms. This is 3 ohms, and this is 4 ohms, and all are connected to. I'm not showing the battery; they are connected to battery, and battery has zero internal resistance. So what will happen? All are connected in parallel. If I assume the battery EMF to be V or battery voltage to be V, this will have certain current. This current will be equal to V by 2. This current will be equal to V by 3, since all three are connected in parallel. And this current will be equal to V by 4. That's how the current is flowing. So this is for first part of information given. Now, what else is asking? Ratio of distance of middle wire from the first and the third wire. So let's say if the distance here, from here to here, the distance is X, and this distance is Y. What we need to find in this case, we need to find the ratio of distance between ratio of X by Y. For what condition? For condition, what is the condition here? Resultant magnetic force on middle wire is 0. So this wire, so we have done earlier, these two wire current is in the same direction. So this wire, first wire will exert an attractive force, current being in the same direction attract. Even the third wire also will exert an attractive force. So it is possible the resultant force, since the two forces are opposite in direction, it is possible the resultant force may become 0. So earlier I also mentioned there are two ways of stating the condition. One is I can calculate each force and equate the magnitude, direction is already opposite. Or second way of saying is the force on this wire will be zero if magnetic field created at this position due to two wires are equal and opposite or field is zero. So when force is zero, either I can equate force equal to zero. So two ways of solving. So condition I can write in two different ways. What is the first way I can write the condition? First way I can write the condition, force on the middle wire due to first wire is equal to force on the middle wire due to second wire. Direction is already opposite. If I equate this condition, I can find one equation. I can solve it. What is the second way? B at middle wire position due to first wire is equal, its direction is already opposite. So direction is already taken care of. So magnitude of B at middle wire is equal to field due to third wire. So can I write this equation? Maybe I will use this second condition. So pretty easy to write. What is the field at this position due to this long wire? So field will be equal to mu naught I by 2 pi d. So current is V by V, mu naught by 2 pi x is equal to field created by the third wire. Third wire, the current is V by 4 divided by 2 pi into distance. Distance is y. I can easily find the ratio of x and y. So I hope this is all clear to everyone. It's a simple question. Now coming to this question, this is a little different from the previous one. First read the question and see what you understood, and then we'll start. First think how you're going to solve it. Get an idea of method of solving, then we start solving it. Okay, so let's start from what we need to do. We need to find the net force on the loop. So I can loop also. See, we don't have any formula for net force on the loop. We have the formula for current element. So I can think of there are four different sides of the loop. When I elect side AB, why would it experience? Why this loop will experience force? Because of field created by long wire. So first of all, what I have understood, force on the loop, force on elements of loop, every part of the loop is due to what? Due to field created by long wire. That's first part I understood. So field due to long wire, since the wire is long, I know the formula for field is simple. This is equal to mu naught into I divided by 2 pi into the distance varying. Now I have divided the loop into 4 parts. So first, the second thing I think I need to check, suppose I have to calculate force on AB. Is the field uniform for wire AB? Since the distance of AB from the wire is constant, the field also is uniform. So I can, for AB, for element AB, field is uniform. I hope this part is also clear to everyone. For element AB, B is uniform. Because B is varying as a distance from the long wire. Since AB is parallel, the distance is called P is uniform. So in that case, what will be the force on element AB? So I can write force on element is I into length of the element into field at that position. Which I here, which I will be current in the element AB. So this is current in AB. So let's put those values. What is this value of I? I is equal to 2 amperes. Length is how much? 10 centimeters, so 0.1 meter. And what is B at a distance? B is same, but distance is D is equal to 1 centimeter. So let me put this values, mu naught into 5 divided by 2 pi into 0.01. Thus AB, which direction it will act? Let's first understand the direction also. I can use, say in terms of first to find direction, two ways of doing the direction. The field created due to wire, if I keep my thumb in this direction, my fingers will curl into the plane of paper, right hand side. So field is there. Now if I have to look at, I'll create two pencil. One pencil, its direction of field is L cross B. So if I use my pencil or left hand, one finger I'll put upwards and second finger away from me. So which is the first one? L is the first one. Up finger is first vector and away from me is a vector, second vector. So if my curl right hand, if I curl my fingers from the up finger to away finger, my thumb will point towards left. Hence the force will act towards left. Is there any other way to figure out the direction of force?
Yes, sir. The current.
The attractive trigger.
Same direction. No, same way we had done earlier. Not earlier, normally opposite attracts, similar attracts, so force is attractive. And once you have done this direction, it is away from outwards. All sides also I can mark the direction. This will be the direction of force. I need not do that separately. Okay. So this is something what he understood, this how the forces will act. So force on the element I can calculate, and force on calculating CB also is easy. So CB, what is the direction of what will be force on CB? Same term. Only thing which will change, only this term is changing. The rest of term will remain same. So it will be 2 into 0.1 into mu naught into 5 divided by 2 pi. Only thing what has changed now, since its distance from axis is different, and what is the distance from axis? It is 5 centimeters. So this will be divided by 0.05. But this field is in this direction. Which field is more? This force is more. So what is the net? Okay. So what is the, if I take this as x direction? So what is the net force acting in x direction? That will be equal to this minus this. That will be force. This force is larger. The force will be, I can easily calculate the force. Force will be, this term is common. Magnitude of force will be equal to mu naught pi divided by 2 pi. So 1 divided by 0.01 minus 1 divided by 0.05. Which direction? Towards the left, attractive. Now come to two other elements, top element and bottom element. See, if I take a corresponding pair, if I take one element here and I take opposite side, this is a corresponding element here. What is happening if I take one element, current is going in this direction, other element current is going this direction, hence the forces are opposite. So what will happen when I take the net forces, whatever element I take here, corresponding element take here, their forces are cancelling out. So if we take all such pair, whatever force acts on BC, equal and opposite force act on AD, hence net force in corresponding pair of elements. I hope all of you understand, we have used this pair of elements, will cancel. Hence, what is the net force? This is the net force. Net force is only attractive in nature, and force also, since it will lie in the plane in which the rectangular loop lies. So this itself is the net force. So what I think, if you can understand, this is something you can write in terms of formula. This is pretty simple. I hope all are clear. Anybody has any doubt? Anybody has not understood? So what we have done, just to repeat quickly. So what we need to find net force on the loop. We don't have a formula on a loop. Okay, and had it been uniform field, force would have been 0, but this loop is not placed in uniform field. So what we need to do, we have to calculate force on different parts of the loop. So what we have done, we have divided the loop into 4 logical parts. The 4 logical parts are this side AB, BC, CD, and DC. And when we solve also, we take, so when we out of 4 elements, we selected AB. AB, the distance field varies as the distance from this long wire. Since AB is at equal distance, it is equivalent to being placed in a uniform field. So I can apply the formula directly here, ILB. And angle between L vector and B vector is 90. So magnitude of force itself is ILB. I calculate this force once and I find the direction also. And once we find the direction, let me repeat this point again. Whenever this loop is there, either all forces will try to shrink it or all forces try to expand it. All forces will act outwards of the loop. So one force is acting outwards of the loop, all forces will act outwards of the loop. I calculate force here, I can easily calculate force here. But coming to these two sides, BC and CD, I can easily notice because of symmetry, force will, if I take corresponding pairs, force are equal in magnitude, opposite direction, hence they will cancel out. I need not calculate these forces. So this is the method, and this is a sequence of logical steps involved in solving. Anybody has any query on this question so far? Anyone has any query? No? Okay. So we move on to next one, something like this. So again, please read the question. This also is slightly tricky question since it's there in the workbook. It's a little difficult question because it involves rotation motion. Okay. So all of you read. Okay, sorry. I think first thing, let me tell, this question is not rotation, but I intended to do what will happen if you break it. I will also do kind of rotation. If it is not fixed, this question, if what is given, not attached. If it is not attached to battery resistance are connected, the largest voltage, why the largest voltage? So what is happening as the battery voltage keeps increasing? What is the effect of increase? When we talk about largest, we need to understand what is the effect of voltage of battery. How does it affect anything? Effect of voltage of battery. What is the effect of voltage of battery?
More current.
More current. So we understand effect of battery, what will happen as V increases, it will lead to more current flowing. So this current also, this current I flowing through this also will increase. What happens if the current increases?
More force.
More force will act. FB will increase. Now we like to check which direction is FB acting. FB is acting perpendicular to plane of paper. It means force will lie in the plane of paper. So which direction? This is the direction of L vector. And so if I use two fingers, one finger will pointing towards left and one finger pointing away from me. Left finger is first vector and the second away from me second vector. If I curl my fingers from first vector to second vector, I can easily find the force will act in the vertically upward direction. This is FB. So what will happen as FB keep increasing? See, if FB keeps increasing, why would the question largest voltage can have without breaking the circuit? Can someone tell why would circuit break? So I understood as I keep increasing voltage, current will increase. As current increasing, FB will increase. Now, if FB increases, at some point time, what will happen when FB becomes just greater than weight?
It will separate from the.
So what will happen? The rod will get lifted up. And when it gets lifted up, what will happen? The circuit will break. So this question, first part is, this part is simple enough. So what I need to do, what is the largest voltage can have? So condition is FB is equal to weight. That's a condition. So limiting condition, I arrive at a condition. So condition to solve this question is, what this question is asking, FB in terms of magnitude is equal to weight. So what is FB is equal to? I into L into B is equal to mg. What is I equal to? I is equal to voltage by R into L into B is equal to mg. Is that difficult? Now let's look at this. All information is given now. So what are things? L given, and L is given, mass is given, and magnetic field is given. Battery and resistor in series are connected to the support. So this resistance is 25 ohms. So this also current is given, and you can easily find this value. Then this is not a problem. I think all of you can substitute, and this is, I leave it exercise. All of you solve and check with your answer. So this is what happens. So this will work as a circuit breaker. So whenever current exceeds a particular value, what will happen? Circuit will break. Now I give as a second part of the question. What is second part of question? One more variation of the question. What is the variation of the question we can have? If suppose I say this, it is hinged at this point. So what will happen if it is hinged at this point? What way when my question changes?
It will rotate now.
It will tend to rotate. So what will happen here? The condition was, what will happen? Translation equilibrium is broken. When it is free to rotate about NA, this force will try to rotate it. So what is the condition for breaking of circuit? Variation is when NA is hinged. Then what has to happen? This torque, which torque is trying to rotate? Magnetic field torque is trying to rotate. So torque due to magnetic force when it exceeds torque due to weight, both about which point? About A. Then it lose contact. Circuit will break.
Sir, how do we calculate torque due to magnetic force? Like, where does it act?
Yes, tell me. That is something I leave it exercise. Try and think. See, it is something like this. See, if you have this is something. Let's see. If I visualize this diagram, it is something like this. So magnetic force which is acting. One way of looking would be I can take a small piece of the rod. And I take why I'm taking a small piece of the rod? Because different part torque force acting at different distances, torque will vary. Okay, so if I take a small length, what is the small length I'm taking here? I have taken a small piece of the rod. Where I have taken this length? At a distance x, and length of the piece is dx. So what is the force acting? Force acting is df. So what is the torque due to this force about A? Torque about A? Force multiplied by its perpendicular distance.
Well,
df
pretty about the center of mass only, right?
Yeah, actually it's a linear, but I see this also I can take total torque acting at the center because of symmetry. But if I'm not sure, I can calculate this torque. What is d tau is equal to? Df into dx. Sorry, df into, sorry, I have written. What is the force into lever arm? What is the perpendicular distance of force from A into x? And what is df here? Magnetic force on this small element, I into length is dx into b into x. And so what will the torque now? Torque will be equal to integration of d tau. I can calculate this. This I leave as an exercise. Some of you is not necessary, but some of you want, you can solve it. Easily can calculate. And here also we equate this torque. Yes, Alan?
So, no, sir, I have a question in the previous slide, sir.
Yes. Let me finish this part. Okay, I'll come to that question also. Unless it doesn't, we'll leave it for doubt session. I'll come to that question again. So, or to ask towards the end of the session. So this is torque we can calculate. So this is a variation. I leave it as an optional question for those who want to. You can try, and if you have any doubt, you can clarify. So both ways. If it is not supported, it's a different variation. In that case, what will happen? Whole rod will get lifted. If it is fixed at a particular line, what will happen? The rod will rotate like this.
Still will be the same answer, right?
Check and find. Will it be same or different?
I mean, torque is acting about the same point and
So just check, yes, whether this logically you can check whether the answer will be same or different. Mechanism is different, but answer may still be same. Okay. Now come to next one. So basic and two. This question, again, please read the question and see what you have followed and how do you solve that question. See, this kind of question I have dealt with. See, in this case also, if we take a small element here of length dl, if I take a small element dl, which direction dl vector? Dl vector is towards right. Can I find the direction of force? Again, right hand thumb rule. I can easily find out the direction of force df will be outwards. So every element is like being pushed outwards, and I have dealt with this question earlier also. So whenever a force acts in the radially outward direction, ring will have a tensile force. Okay, so what is the force acting on the length dl? Force acting on length dl is equal to current into length dl ILB. This is the force acting. Or if I write what is the force per unit length? What is radial force per unit length? I can write a radial force per unit length. How much is for radial force per unit length is acting? So I divide by length dl. The radial force is equal to I into B. Some of you ask the force is ILB sine theta. Angle everywhere when B is perpendicular, sine theta is 1. The force per unit length is IB. And I'll not prove it again. But whenever force acts like this, the tension in a ring is equal to force per unit length into radius. How do we do it? I think we have done it a couple of times also. Take a small length theta and all. So what will the force? This force will be IBR. That's the tension which is acting. So what will happen? So what we notice here, now let's read the question. This is how the tension is. Current flows in the ring made of thin wire. It has a tensile strength of the wire is given in terms of force. The ring is placed in uniform magnetic field. Determine the value of B. So that ring is just going to rupture. What does thus going to rupture mean? Condition for rupture is what?
Maximum tensile.
Yes, condition for rupture, tension becomes equal to T naught. T becomes equal to 1.5 Newton. So IBR, as B keeps increasing, the force will tension force will keep increasing. Moment becomes equal to 1.5 Newton. It will rupture. That's the equation. Shravani, have you followed?
Yes, sir.
So far, what we have done, all are clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Sir,
Pranav? Yes, sir. Akshay. Yes, sir, Pashe.
sir, how did you get that equation there, sir?
How do we know that?
Tension equals to force per unit length into radius.
I have done this derivation twice. So think in your mind now, how do you do it? Otherwise, I will do in the evening session again. Okay. Whenever radial force acts, and I have given to Vignesh. Do you recall which context I have mentioned? I have mentioned two conditions. I have told it comes in various other forms.
In electrostatics,
Electrostatics I have mentioned one there, and there's one more case I have mentioned. What is the other case?
mechanical properties of solids.
One more thing. What happens if you rotate a ring?
Yes, sir.
It
Yeah.
is rotated with angular velocity. Even then, it experiences centrifugal force. Even there also it
Yes, sir.
experiences tension. So there are 3-4 cases, and we'll do that again. Again, method is if you want to repeat, take a small element. You take theta. If you recall something like this, and force is acting like this.
So
you
what
consider
if
it. Huh?
what if we divide it into two semicircular rings, sir?
Yeah, I have done in two semicircular. Take the projection. Okay, semicircular T and T. So both ways it can be done. We divide into semicircular. In that case, we have to take
should be
vertical
equal
component.
to 2 into T, right?
Yes, where 2T, but force is acting over 2R.
Yes, sir. 2R. I mean,
Huh.
equivalent to our by that thing.
Comes in like this. T is acting here and T is acting here, and force per unit length is acting in the radial direction. If I take its vertical component of the force per unit length, it is acting on what length? Is acting on length. If you take projection, it is 2R. So force per unit length into 2R is equal to 2T, which gives you the same equation. Both ways it can be done. Okay. Now we come to something like magnetic dipole. I just made a reference of magnetic dipole when we calculated magnetic field on the axis of circular current carrying loop. And we arrived at this expression for magnetic field on the axis of circular current carrying loop, constant term into 2 into M. What is by M we wrote at? What is the M was taken as? M was taken as a current into area of the loop divided by R cube. R being the inclined distance, but if the point is further away, R is almost equal to the axial distance. And what we noticed, we said something about this formula. What is something specific about the formula? We find this formula is something similar to something we had dealt in the past. We found this formula is very similar to formula for field on the axis of electric dipole. So this also a similar property, and later on we see this even magnetic dipole, this circular ring has very similar properties to an electric dipole. So circular ring exhibit similar property to electric dipole. That's the reason it is called a dipole, and it has so many things similar. So one by one, let's deal with it. So first of all, the way we define what is the, electric dipole also is vector quantity. Even magnetic dipole moment also is a vector quantity. So first we understood in case of ring. So suppose it's a current carrying circular ring. Current, if we see from here, current is in this way. See, direction of current depends on place of observation. So if I'm looking for the plane of paper, current is going in anti-clockwise direction. Direction of magnetic dipole moment, typically we represent by M term here. So M bar, which direction? My fingers curling right hand, again right hand thumb rule. Fingers curling along the direction of current. My thumb will point towards me or out of the plane of paper. That is the direction of dipole moment. And what is the magnitude of dipole moment? Current into area of the loop. So that's what we need to understand. So any current carrying loop behaves like a magnetic dipole with magnitude equal to NIA. What is this I here? This is current into area. What does N indicate here? Number of turns. So if there are n number of turns, it is equivalent to n circular loops. loops. And since n number of terms all are pointing in the same direction, I can add it up. It's addition of IA n times number of turns into current carried by the loop into area. So what we notice here, this is something, though we arrived this expression for circular shape, it is found to be valid for all shapes. Any loop which is carrying current will have a behave like a magnetic dipole. We'll see what other properties of dipoles are. And its dipole moment magnitude is equal to NIA, and direction is given by right hand thumb rule. So pretty simple law. And right hand thumb rule we have done many times. And some of you might complain. Anybody experiencing wrist pain, right hand side, right hand? Some people do complain. By the time you finish magnetism chapter, you said you right hand thumb rule so many times that it still starts paining. So, but it's still the same thing. We keep using and same law. If we have practiced enough, no problem finding. So suppose we look in the 3-dimensional also, if loop is kept this way, which direction magnetic dipole is? It is always perpendicular to plane containing the loop. There are two possible directions perpendicular to the plane. If it is kept in horizontal plane, vertically upward direction, vertically downward direction, but it's always perpendicular to plane of the loop. But which direction we find out using right hand thumb rule, right? So we'll take those two simple examples. There are two different loops are given. Can we find out magnetic dipole moment of two loops? First of all, which direction it will be and what will the magnitude? Okay. So what is per magnetic dipole moment? M magnitude is equal to N into current into area. So first case, what is the area? This is the area in first case. This is area bounded by loop. So what is A? What are we talking about? Area we are talking area bounded by loop. If it is planar surface, there's no problem at all. So is the area same in both cases? Both cases, see. And how do you find the direction? Curl the finger along the direction of current. So if you curl your fingers along the direction of current, you find the thumb is going into the plane of paper. This will be the direction of magnetic dipole moment, and area will be equal to, since it is only one loop, and I area will be okay. Well, it's pretty simple. Pi R2 square by 2 minus R1 square. What will happen in the second case?
They'll just add up.
Add that, but pretty simple. And what is the direction? Both case direction is same. So this is, see, finding magnetic dipole moment is as simple as finding area. Any shape given is area. So suppose I ask a question. Suppose you have circular loop, and the circular loop has some magnetic dipole moment, current I is flowing. If same circular loop without changing the length of the wire, I can reshape it in form of a square. Same circular loop I have shaped in form of a square. Current has not changed. Will the magnetic dipole moment remain same? This is for a square, this is for circular shape. Will it remain same, increase, decrease, or what will happen?
Decrease.
Why?
Because for the same perimeter, a square has less.
Same perimeter, this will have small area. So it is just depend on the area. So we know if I must see, this is just area property and pretty simple. So I am not spending time on that. Basically, I think all of you good. I can trust all of you can easily calculate those areas and arrive at magnetic dipole moment. In simple cases, I look at some cases which are not as simple, but okay. So before I go to little more complicated question, let's take for different orientation. So all cases, I will take some 3-4 orientation. Square loops of side L. So this side is also L, this side is L. And all cases current is I. And how many turns it has? It is not shown, it has n turns. Placed with different orientation, find magnetic dipole moment in each case in vector form. So all cases, I'll give it a little time to figure out which direction it would be and what is the magnitude, what is the direction. The first one, let me go anyway, but the first one also I'll do that one afterwards, next to all of you. So what will be the magnitude of dipole moment? NIA. Number of turns are given. Current is I, area is L square. So magnitude is pretty simple. What is the direction now? So can you all visualize the direction? If I curl my fingers in this direction, right hand, take out the right hand, and which direction? Looking from here, your fingers should be curling in clockwise direction. When your fingers curl in the clockwise direction, it will point into the plane of paper. So what is the direction of dipole moment? Into the plane of paper. So what is the direction in place of plane of paper? Into the plane of paper, it will be minus I cap. Similar way, can we do it for other shapes as well? Can we tell what is the magnetic dipole moment here? Same loop. So magnitude will not change, only direction will change. What is the direction of magnetic dipole moment in this particular case? Khyati, can you tell me the direction of magnetic dipole moment in this case? Khyati? And if I ask anyone what I expect, first he say yes, sir, so that I know you have listened and you are attentive. So irrespective of what I want to, the moment I ask anyone name, even if you don't know answer, you tell me yes, sir, but I don't know. Don't be quiet. I don't want anybody to be quiet in response, and this is something I don't want to do, that jugglery of putting out and all, but this is because it just disrupts the flow. My mental mind. I don't know whether the person listened or not. Preetham, can you tell me the direction?
Minus k caps.
Any problem?
No, sir.
No, we can curl our fingers like this. If we curl our fingers, we see our thumb going downwards. So this one minus k cap, but no problem at all. Okay. So let's take third case, Pranav. Now, Pranav Soma, can you tell me the direction in this particular case, Pranav Soma?
Which case, sir?
This third case. What is the direction? Loop is given. Which plane is the loop placed in? Can you tell the plane in which the loop is placed?
ZX plane.
ZX plane. So is which direction? It is always perpendicular. So what are the direction perpendicular to ZX plane?
J cap.
Perpendicular ZX plane, J cap. Yes. There only one direction or two possible directions?
Yeah, 2.
So we find the correct direction. It is, so first thing I understand, it would be either plus J cap or minus J cap. How do I find? Can you curl your fingers? See, if you are looking, can you curl your fingers along the direction which the current is going in the loop? Which direction will the thumb point if you curl your fingers in this fashion? Can you right hand them? Can you curl your fingers in this fashion? Which direction is your thumb pointing? Towards left or towards right? Pranav, you're not able to do it? It will point towards, thumb will point towards left. Hence, this also will be equal to minus J cap. Okay. That's part. Second thing, what we need to do, though it is a loop, I think we should get into some, for solving certain question, it becomes much easier if we think of a dipole as an arrow, the way we do in case of electric dipole. So if we think of this as an arrow, it makes things easier. So can you all visualize all this as an arrow? So first case, minus I cap. So can I visualize an arrow? I can think of this. This is how the dipole is. Length of the ray indicates magnitude, direction is like this. In this particular case, downwards, this is arrow. Magnetic dipole, rather than looking at the whole loop, I'm thinking, yes, this is the magnetic dipole. It's a vector, so I can view any vector. I should be able to view a vector as an arrow. Third case, how would the arrow point? Since it was along minus J cap, that's the direction of arrow. So view each magnetic dipole as an arrow, as a vector, which helps in perhaps solving several questions, helps in easy understanding. Can we find similar case? Yes, Alal?
So what is a magnetic dipole, sir?
What did I tell about magnetic dipole as? Tell me what have you understood? And I mentioned some statement also. Tell me what have you understood? What is magnetic?
Disconnected, sir.
Okay. Any current carrying loop is a magnetic dipole. So what is necessary? It has to be loop and it has to be carrying current. And magnitude is equal to NIA. Number of turns into current into area. And direction is given by right hand thumb rule. Okay. So in this case, can we find the direction of magnetic dipole moment? Magnitude again same as previous case. Magnitude is NI L square. So that is not a problem. Finding magnitude is easy. Can someone define the direction in terms of unit vector? Ashray, can you tell me what is the direction of, in which direction the magnetic moment points to? What is the direction of magnetic dipole moment? Quantity. Which direction is it?
It will point in the XY plane, sir.
It will point in XY plane. So basically XY plane. So if it is lying in XY plane, it has to make some angle. You have to define in terms of, yes, you have defined it lies in XY plane. So that's one, but okay, lies in XY plane. How did you come to that conclusion? It is lying in XY plane.
Sir, I just curled my fingers and saw the direction.
Okay, in lying in XY plane. So any vector which is lying in XY plane, its direction can be defined in terms of angle with one of the axes. So direction, if you give angle with either x-axis or y-axis, that defines the direction. Anything.
Yes,
So I need angle with either of the axes. So can you tell me what is the angle with either of the two axes, either x-axis or y-axis?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
With the y-axis, it's 60 degrees, sir. And with the x-axis, it's 30 degrees.
With y-axis, it is 60 degree. Okay.
Will be minus root 3I plus 2, right?
So how do you find the direction? Akash, can you tell me which way you find the direction?
Like I drew a perpendicular, sir.
Huh?
Then it makes an angle of 60 degrees with the positive y-axis and 30 degrees with the negative x-axis.
Okay. So you drove a perpendicular and this something like this. Okay. Yeah, like this. Okay.
Yeah. Sir.
How do we come to that one? Anybody else? Okay. Bhageshri, can you figure out direction here?
The same way, sir. I just drew a perpendicular to the current.
Current. So it is perpendicular to the plane and you drew that and you are able to find the direction without any difficulty. Disha, can you find the direction?
I have some confusion.
No, so, okay. One way of thinking, some of the people may have little confusion. So Disha, you tell me, had this angle been 0? So
Yes.
something, if this was placed in XZ plane, what would have been direction of magnetic dipole moment? If angle theta was 0, if this theta was 0, what would have been direction of dipole moment in that case?
Minus I cap.
Minus I cap. So so what I understood, if theta is 0, so M direction would be equal to minus I cap. So what will happen as I start rotating this plane, this dipole direction also will start rotating, is it not?
Yes, sir.
If I start rotating in this sense, this dipole also, if this has turned by 30 degree, even this also will turn by
30 degrees.
30 degree. So what will, if this has turned by 30 degree, what will the direction dipole? This also, M also will make an angle of 30 degree with which axis?
Minus x-axis.
Minus x-axis. So once I get this one, can I find this component now?
Yes, sir.
You can do that. So you understood. So that's another way to understand and find out. Pranav, have you understood this point? Or shall I repeat once again?
Could you repeat it?
Okay, no, I'll just repeat that point. See this point, let's just first again just go pay a little more attention. And see what we notice here, this plane you can think of, this is something, it's a square loop. Earlier you can think of it is placed along which plane it is placed now? The blue line, it is placed in which plane, Pranav? This is lying in which plane? YZ plane. So can you mark when it is in YZ plane, which direction magnetic dipole will be? Magnetic dipole moment using right hand thumb rule will be in this direction. That's the direction of M when it was like this. Now this plane has been rotated in this direction by 30 degree. So what will happen? Even the dipole moment also, which sense plane is rotated in this direction? Even the normal to the plane also will get rotated by angle of 30 degree. So from here, this also will turn by 30 degree. So earlier it was along minus x-axis. Now it is rotated by 30 degrees. It will make an angle of 30 degree with minus x-axis. So per direction of M, how do I define? Angle of 30 degree with minus x-axis. Pranav is still bare bed. So how do I define now? Now it's a little easy. So how do I define this is xy? In this, if I have to mark, what is the direction? Can you mark which is minus? This is minus x-axis. So can I draw a vector which is can I draw an arrow tail at the origin which makes an angle of 30 degree from minus x towards plus y. It is rotating from minus x towards y. This is the direction of dipole moment. So can I write in component form now? Yes, you can easily write in component form. Preetham, have you understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Will you not make mistake?
No, sir.
Yes. So practice, just go through once again, see that it is proper, your mind it is clear, do it couple of times so that there's no doubt left in the mind. Okay. So we can do that. So as the plane of point makes an angle 30 degree with the y-axis in clockwise sense when viewed from the top, is normal also will make 30 degree with the negative x-axis in the same sense. Okay, that's that. That's how we can find out m value. Now this also we see a loop. But this current carrying loop, how is the current flowing? I hope all of you understand. The loop, is it similar to previous loop or somewhat different now? How is the current flowing? Start from here. Let's say if I start tracking the loop path, this is the path of the loop. This is how the current is flowing, and it is forming a loop. Okay. So it is a loop, it's a current carrying loop, but in a way it is different from previous ones. It is not in one plane. If it is not in plane, we only know how to find magnetic dipole moment for a loop lying in a plane. If you have to find magnetic dipole moment, if length of each straight part is L, means this side also is L, this side also is L, this side also is L, this side is L. How do you find magnetic dipole moment of a loop? See, all of you understood, is it a loop here? Any doubt? Shreya, is it forming a loop?
Yes, sir.
You are able to see where the loop is? Okay. But what is the difference you notice compared to previous cases? What is different in this case, Shreya?
They are in two different planes.
They are in two different planes. It's not in one plane. And what we have done so far, if we know the plane, the direction of movement is perpendicular to the plane. So how do we, whenever we have such question, we break into two loops. So method of solving, whenever we have a loop, first we identify a loop. Identification loop is not a problem. What we'll do, we'll form inner loops by adding an equal and opposite current along the boundary of the loop. So what we'll do here, we'll convert into two loops. Because by zero current, so by how do we do it here? See, from here the current is coming like this. I add, I'm showing it differently, but they are at the same point. I add one element having current in along plus x-axis. I add another element which is carrying current at the same position along minus x-axis. So if I take what is the net effect of the current along the common boundary, net effect of current is zero. I have not added any current. But by adding these two equal and opposite among the common boundary, what is the advantage we get here?
When write two loops.
It becomes two loops. So whenever we have something lying in two or three different planes, we can break it into planar loops, but each loop lying in one particular plane by adding equal and opposite current along the boundary of the loop. If I add this current now I know these are the two shapes I am familiar with. This is one square placed in XY plane. This other square plane in XZ plane. Can we find the direction? Yes, I can find the direction of it. Resultant moment is vector sum of moment of each planar dipole moment. It's not a scalar quantity, so we'll calculate separately. So can we find a magnetic dipole moment of each of the square loop in vector form? Which direction it will point to?
J cap plus K cap.
J cap plus K cap. Is it a plus K cap or minus K cap? So let's look at this. Which direction? Okay, which direction this loop is? Again, if I put my thumb, so basically my fingers are like this. If I bend fingers downwards, my fingers should be see my palm is here. If you really use your right hand thumb, palm is here and fingers are going down. If our palms are here, finger is going down, thumb will point towards left in this case, and so on and so on. In this particular case also, how my fingers is, if I, this is in this particular case. Okay, all of you should be able to do it easily. So in this case, okay, palm, and this is pointing downwards. This is leftwards and this is downwards. So I can think of these two independent loops. One loop is like this. So part of the loop in XZ plane, dipole moment is along minus J cap, I into L square minus J cap. Second loop is like this. Okay, which direction it is pointing at? Okay, part of the loop in xy plane, and dipole moment is along minus k cap direction. So what is the resultant dipole moment? It's a vector sum of the two. This becomes my resultant dipole moment. So even this also I can view as something like this. This also I can view as something like this, like an arrow. It is sum of these two, resultant of the two. It will lie in which plane? The resultant moment, yeah, it is clearly given. It lies in YZ plane. Okay, which direction? YZ plane. Easy. I hope this part is understood. Anybody has any question, queries on this so far? Shachi, have you understood? Anvita?
Yes, sir.
Kevin?
Yes, sir, I understood. Clear.
Is clear?
Yes.
But you should again go through once every part. See that every part you go through once on your own. See that you are comfortable with everything what you have done so far. Ahlad, you have a query? Or old time? This I see a raised hand. Ahlad, do you have any fresh question or the last question which you asked?
Current is answered.
Ajay, maybe I think some 15-20 minutes back, same hand is still there. Okay. So I hope all are clear. We want to just go through once again. So I'll just go through what you have done, or maybe I'll do when you start work session again. Maybe 10-15 minutes. I'll go through what you have done. So are we okay with the concept of magnetic dipole moment? Magnetic dipole moment is a vector. What constitute a magnetic dipole moment? Any current carrying loop is constitute a magnetic dipole moment of any shape. If a loop lies in a plane, is easy to find. The dipole moment will be perpendicular to plane of the loop given by right hand thumb rule. Magnitude is NIA, direction is given by right hand thumb rule, perpendicular to the loop. What we have done additionally, and any dipole moment we can view as an arrow. Additionally, what we have done, if a loop lies in not in one plane, multiple plane, then what we need to do, we can break it into, we can form plane loops by adding equal and opposite current along the boundary of the loop. Okay. So that's what we had done, and let's see. Can we solve this question here? On the top, you see the homework. I'll just mention this is a homework question. Can we solve this question as well? So just all of you try and think, how do you go about solving this question?